Well, same old, I guess. Time to start searching Google for random questions that I have since I'm that bored. Um, hmm, I don't know, today's a little dry. Uh, what's up with Titanfall 2? I wonder if the third game's going to get made anytime soon. Titanfall 2 is back May 18th, 2023. Titanfall 2 is saved 1 week ago? Titanfall 2 just got a huge update in 2023? There's no way. Server's still down. We're not detecting any problems. There's something going on. 66. What? There's no way. There was a way, and I couldn't be happier right now. For those who live under a rock and don't know what Titanfall 2 was, still is, it was a seriously underrated FPS that came out in 2016 towards the end, 7 years ago. But now it's back, and hopefully for a while. Again, for those who weren't in the loop, Titanfall 2 was nearly completely dead on PC, due to the poor maintenance of the servers after the first year of its life cycle. Even finding a single match would take minutes, if not a dozen, then you'd be lucky to even stay in the match without being kicked out. On top of this, the game had relatively poor sales. Sadly, this is due to the mistakes of their creators, EA. They decided to try and beat the competition with its release, which makes sense on paper. However, this became a truly awful mistake, and due to their decisions, this game came out the exact same month as their competition. And their competition was the titans known as Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, or more importantly, Modern Warfare Remastered, both racking in roughly 15 million copies sold each, in Titanfall 2 with a measly 4 million when compared. So this drastically decreased the player count and the lifespan of this game and the attention it got from its developers. Even though, if one took the time to look, Titanfall 2 has some of the most positive ratings for any multiplayer FPS, it was just truly overlooked masterclass of a game because of poor timing. And so I'm so glad to see it getting some attention even now. Alright, now for the less rehearsed part, as I'll call it. I just felt that beginning was needed because there's certain information I wanted to make sure I hit. So all this is going to be a simple breakdown. I'm maybe going to point out a couple of my epic maneuvers here, as bad as the gameplay is. In case you missed the note, this is my first match back in a while, so it's a little rough to say the least. I'm just going to explain a couple basic aspects of this game, what makes it so great, or just basic aspects in general. Focus on the gameplay if you would like, instead of listening to me, whatever you want, I don't care. Wanted to make this video just because I really am so excited that this game is coming back, and I am going to put some time down. This is a new account for me because before I played on console, this is my PC account. I'm going to be putting some time. Expect future videos on this. I suck. Expect future video on this. I promise I'll be better by the next few videos. I mean, that's the basics I can say there. So let's talk about this game mode at first. This game mode is called attrition. Attrition is sort of like the team deathmatch, or like the default mode that everyone that has played Titanfall can recall off the top of their head. Most well-known one, most played one. So attrition is, I don't want to say it's a long-term game mode because it's not very long. So it's first team to 650 points. You get points by killing pilots, which are player-controlled characters, and for killing grunts, which are NPCs. Both side has, I think it's 6v6, 6 regular players, and then they have something like 20 total grunts that will constantly be spawning in. The losing side, the AIs basically get smarter, and it starts spawning in more advanced infantry, which give a different amount of score. So it tries to even out the game a little bit because, once the losing team sort of has those special enemies going around, it makes it a little more even. So usually these game modes are pretty even. Of course, the huge decider is how well off the pilots play. And as you can see, I do really, really bad. I can come up with a number of excuses, but I don't think you really want to hear them. Oh, well, I got a little piece there. That's enemy Titan drop. I mean, I'm assuming whoever's here knows what Titanfall is. I'm gonna assume you didn't come here not knowing. This weapon sucks. I hate this. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. I hate the charge rifle. It's totally not just because I haven't played this game forever and I was barely remembering the controls, let alone I could barely hit a shot. I hate the charge rifle. Any wind-up weapon is always awful in my opinion. I don't care if it's a one-shot. I don't care if it does decent damage. It's bad. So in this game, you have 3 separate weapons. You have your primary, your secondary, and then you have particularly an anti-Titan weapon, which that's what the charge rifle is. It can be used on regular enemies. Anti-Titan weapons are quote-unquote built to penetrate Titan armor, so the only way you can do damage to a Titan as a regular player. If not, you would have to rely on calling down your own Titan, which Titans in this work something like a score streak. The more points you build up, and as time goes by, you get Titan charge. Same thing with, you can equip like a passive ability that you can also charge up. I forget to use mine for like 95% of this gameplay, but that's besides the point. Of course, you have a grenade, and then you have a tactical. My tactical currently equipped is a zipline. You'll see me using that here and there. Helps with mobility. A lot of them are mobility based. I know there's a phase shift, just like Wraith from Apex. In case you didn't know, Apex rips a lot of the assets from this game, as this was the precursor. You have, like I said, grappling hook, cloak. A lot of they're good. They have a cooldown. They just spice up the gameplay a little bit. The weapon variety in this game is quite good. Anything that you can imagine in Apex, which I'm assuming anyone knows better, you can find in this game. Plus, there's a lot of weapons in this game that haven't been. So, of course, the main aspect of Titanfall is the Titan combat. That's what it's most known for. And there's just something so cool about running around as a soldier, shooting stuff normal. A lot of people like a good shooter. Let's be real. Shooters are fun and they make you feel cool. But something's even more special when you can hop in a giant mech and start firing 50-pound bullets at back and forth. And you're shooting lasers and using force fields. There's something so cool about that. And the flow of gameplay, don't look at my flow of gameplay, but the flow of gameplay in general is so good. That's what made this game so great at the time, and it's so sickening almost how mediocre this game did. Titanfall 1, for a little bit of background, Titanfall 1 was one of the first, I guess, old-gen console games now for Xbox One and PS4. It came with Xbox Ones and such when they came out. Titanfall 1 was very popular at the time. But this game just came out at such a poor time. And I'm so, again, I already said it before, but I'm so glad that EA decided to randomly just update this game to fix the servers. Because that's what they did. In the past week or so, they have updated the servers, added a new game mode, and teased in a couple different ways that they might be working on the 3rd game finally. Which is something that a lot of people have been begging for. Ooh, that was a nice little... Okay. And so, like I said, just have an open mind. Try this game. It's, I believe, anywhere from $5 to $30, depending on where you buy it. It is such a worthwhile experience. It is... This is... I hope this game lasts for a decent amount of time. I hope this game makes a comeback and gets some attention. This game is so fun. This is, even despite this game being 7 years old, as you can tell from the gameplay, the graphics hold up, the gameplay holds up, the movement is just the right amount of smooth and not smooth. It's not overly convoluted, it's not overly fast, it's just right, because I know at a point a lot of people hated futuristic movement and this and that, but this game does it right. It's not AIDS, it has a high skill cap because it takes a lot of skill to be able to move around well. The whole map is basically your parkour heaven. The whole map you can climb, double jump off, wall run, and it just allows for so many nice plays and for the gameplay to flow so well. So we're coming up on the end of the match here. Once a team technically wins, if you want to call it that, the enemy team gets a ship to come and pick them up, and any enemy that escapes gets on the ship, gets a chance to live, and they get extra points and extra XP for doing that. However, you and the winning team have a small window, as you can see, to try and destroy the ship. It is quite hard because it has quite a lot of health, but it's possible. Well, alright, I'm running out of time for this video now, so thank you anybody for watching, and I hope to see you in my next ones.